Hello and welcome to the video review of Kre-o Jazz. Well, that was weird. I especially like this figure. He was my first figure to get, and the Kre-o figures I especially like because they're pretty cheap. They're a good price, actually, I should say, for how many bricks you get. In this set, you get 122 bricks for only, I think, $10. Yeah, $10. And they're really posable. Well, this guy is not the best with posability, but you can pose his legs, you can pose his arms into a weird position like he's trying to sound off or something. And they're completely customizable. Like, if I can pop his arm off for a second, I can show you that I have created some Lego weapons. I know I don't really like mixing bricks, but I've created some Lego weapons that can form this mega gun that he can hold. I'll go ahead and take it apart to show it to you. The regular way this is supposed to fit is this piece goes back here, and this one right here, and it forms this ginormous gun. That wasn't good. But you can just pull this piece off, pull this one off, and this. Then you have a little laser pistol. Pretty nice size. Like, stand him back up. I made 2 sets of each, so they mirror. A little shotgun. Take this piece off. Plug it in like that. There you go. You got a little handle. You can hold every single weapon pretty nicely too. A sword. And kind of like a giant axe or a giant knife. Not really sure, but it kind of looks like maybe a widened sword, maybe. I made 2 sets of each. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them off. And his hand fell off. For this guy, you can get him into some pretty nice poses. Like, I'll go ahead and take that off and show you by putting the pistol back in his hand. You can, like, his head is got 360 degree. You can turn it all the way around. Like, he doesn't have any hand articulation, so you can't put his arm like this, but you can, like, do this and turn his head. Maybe turn this way a little bit. But yeah, he's pretty posable. He's a nice figure. I'm going to go ahead and get the instructions back to the first area, because I'm going to do his transformation on screen, and because I can't cut with this camera, but cut anything out with this camera. But his posability, I'd give him a 10. Playability, a 10. His posability, I'd probably give an 8. For the 0 articulation with the hand. I mean, you can do this and do that, but you can't turn his hand at all, and even his hand is just 1 brick. I'm gonna go ahead and start breaking him down, because I'm gonna do his transformation pretty soon. The figure itself, worth the $10. Go ahead and get all these weapons out of the way. And I think he's a good one to get to start your collection, because he's the first figure that I got. So I would recommend getting him. Even if you don't think you're going to want him, you'll end up liking him. And if you don't, he's still a pretty good figure to pose and just leave sitting there. But he's a really good figure to play with, and He's really easy to build, too. Like, and the pieces can pop off real easily. Like that. The decals that come with him, I think, are really good because this will end up being the hood. And I like how well it looks. I can go ahead and put part of him together already. He has nice little wings on the back, just like the G1 figure did. He's more of a G1 figure than anything, because the movieverse was a sports car, but so was G1, and he has the G1 head and everything. Bang! Trying to pop that piece off. And of the pieces that you don't use when he's in robot mode, you can make this, so you use most of the pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and get the pieces that aren't gonna be in his alt mode out of here. By my standards, I'd say he's one of the best figures. He's not the biggest. Like, he's pretty short. But he does come with some nice crayons, and he's a really nice build. Like, here's his driver. Little race car driver. He does come with a ball cap, but I like having the helmet on instead. If I can get that back on. And I'm having trouble. There we go. The Jazz crayon. Really nice one. Go ahead and break this guy up into a million pieces. Sadly, on this camera, I can't cut things out. So, I will do some, like Jazz and Mirage, I'll do their transformations on screen. Or if I think it takes too much time, I'll do it off screen. But I want to save as much time as I can whenever I'm doing it. He's not too long. It doesn't take that long to take him apart. But I wish if they had been able to keep the nice alt modes and robot modes for these guys. I wish they could have done the transformations instead of having to take them apart. But you can't have both. I mean, all three, transformation and good alt mode and robot mode. Because if you look at the built to rule figures, they weren't the best. Although they could transform. So they had their ups and their downs. But these guys don't take long. This one doesn't take long to build. Anyway. Although I do think that the constant building would put some wear on the figures. I'm not too angry about that. I do kind of like that whenever you're playing with him, you get to take him apart, although it does cut back from the time it takes to do all the stuff. Like, if you're wanting to play with these guys, he has great playability, but whenever you're transforming him, it's going to take you a while to play with him. So, getting a second one, I think that's what tons of people are doing because it takes less time. So that you have just both already built, and then you can just play with both one, put it to the side, and play with the other. Although I like the building aspect of stuff like this. I like real... That's why I love Lego and Kre-o. By the fact that they did all this. Although some of the characters can be a big pain whenever you're trying to rebuild them into vehicle or robot mode. Because it takes a long time. Doing this on screen is getting pretty hard. There are some tiny pieces, like